Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of Australian 50-cent coins, and trust me, some of these could be worth a lot more than 50 cents. Over the years, the Royal Australian Mint has produced many different 50-cent coins, from special commemorative issues to rare minting errors that collectors absolutely love. Some of these coins are fetching hundreds or even thousands of dollars in the collector's market today. In this video, I'll take you through the most valuable and rare 50-cent coins ever made in Australia. We'll explore their history, the key features to look out for, and how you can tell if the coin sitting in your wallet or coin jar could be a hidden treasure. So grab your magnifying glass, get comfortable, and let's uncover the secret riches hiding in your spare change. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next coin hunting adventure. Let's get started. First up, the 1976 50-cent coin. We have to go back a decade earlier to 1966, when Australia officially transitioned from pounds, shillings, and pence to decimal currency. This change was monumental, modernizing the country's financial system and giving birth to a whole new range of coin designs. The 50-cent coin originally appeared in 1966, but that first version was made of 80% silver, and because the silver value quickly rose above its face value, the mint had to redesign it. So, by 1969, the dodecagonal, 12-sided, copper-nickel coin we know today was introduced, and that same design remained through the 1970s, including 1976. This shift in design made the coin lighter, more affordable to mint, and easier to distinguish by touch. The 1976 Australian 50-cent coin features one of the most iconic designs in Australian numismatics, the Australian coat of arms created by sculptor Stuart Devlin, who was also the chief designer of Australia's decimal coins. The coat of arms showcases the kangaroo and emu, two native animals chosen because neither can walk backward, symbolizing progress and forward movement. Between them is a shield divided into 6 sections, each representing one of Australia's states. Above the shield rests a 7-pointed star, symbolizing the unity of the 6 states and the territories. On the obverse side, the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold McKim, which was used on Australian coins from 1966 to 1984. The design captures a graceful and regal representation of the Queen, linking the coin to Australia's ties with the Commonwealth. Now, when it comes to production, the 1976 Australian 50-cent coin was minted in large numbers. Around 25.7 million coins were struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. Because of this high mintage, the coin is not considered rare in circulation. However, condition plays a massive role in determining value. Coins that have remained in uncirculated or proof condition are far more desirable to collectors than those that have been heavily used. The old condition coins, while common, still hold sentimental and historical value. Proof versions were also struck in smaller numbers for collector sets, which feature a superior finish and are often sealed in official packaging. The 1976 50-cent coin is made from 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it its characteristic silver-gray shine. It weighs 15.55 grams and measures 31.65 millimeters across, making it one of the largest circulating coins in Australia. Its unique 12-sided shape makes it easily recognizable and prevents confusion with other denominations. Over the years, the coin's design has remained largely consistent, reflecting its timeless connection to Australian identity. However, coins in old or worn condition often show signs of dullness, scratches, or smoothing of details, particularly around the coat of arms, which slightly reduces their numismatic appeal but still preserves their collectability for historical value. The year 1976 was an interesting one in Australian history. It marked a period of political transition and economic adjustment following the Whitlam government. The coin, though not commemorative, represents a snapshot of Australia's ongoing stability during times of change. Inflation and international trade pressures were influencing coinage and minting decisions. The Royal Australian Mint maintained consistency in coin design to ensure public familiarity and trust in the new decimal currency. As a result, the 1976 50-cent coin embodies not just metal, but a moment in Australian social and economic history, a tangible piece of the everyday life of that decade. Although the regular 1976 50-cent coin is common, collectors always keep an eye out for mint errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, double strikes, or planchet flaws. These types of coins can turn an ordinary 50-cent piece into something worth tens or even hundreds of dollars. For example, a 1976 50-cent coin with a major off-center strike or a broad strike error could fetch between $50 and $200 depending on the severity and condition. Always inspect your coin under good lighting or a magnifying glass, because one small minting mistake can turn your everyday change into a collector's gem. As of 2025, the 1976 Australian 50-cent coin in old circulated condition typically holds a value of about 50 cents to $1 Australian dollar, which means it's usually worth its face value unless it's in pristine condition. However, in uncirculated or near mint condition, the value can rise to $5 to $10 Australian dollars, while proof versions from mint sets may sell for $15 to $25 Australian dollars depending on presentation. Error varieties, as mentioned earlier, can command much higher prices. It's also worth noting that collector demand for older decimal coins has been increasing due to nostalgic interest and the growing number of YouTube and social media coin channels that promote collecting and education. If you have a 1976 50-cent coin, even in old condition, don't just toss it away. Store it in a coin holder or protective flip to prevent further wear. Avoid cleaning the coin as this can reduce its value. Collectors prefer coins in their natural, original state. For those starting a collection, the 1976 50-cent coin is an excellent piece to begin with, representing the early era of Australia's decimal coinage system. It's a part of history that connects modern collectors to the era of transition, design evolution, and craftsmanship that defined Australia's post-decimal identity. So there you have it, the story of the 1976 Australian 50-cent coin, a coin that represents both everyday life and enduring heritage. Whether yours is scratched, shiny, or somewhere in between, it's a small but significant piece of Australia's rich monetary history. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating insights into Australian coins, their values, and the hidden treasures you might already own. Comment below and tell us, have you ever found a 1976 50-cent coin? You never know. That old coin in your change jar could have more history than you think. Next up. The 1974 Australian 50-cent coin is made from copper and nickel, giving it a distinctive silvery appearance but without any precious metal content. It weighs 15.55 grams, has a diameter of 31.51 millimeters, and features the iconic 12-sided shape that has made it instantly recognizable across the nation. On the obverse side, you'll find the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait shows the young queen wearing a tiara, and it was used on Australian coins from 1966 until 1984. On the reverse side, the coin proudly displays the Australian coat of arms, designed by Stuart Devlin, featuring the kangaroo and emu holding the shield with 6 parts representing each Australian state. This intricate design not only captures national pride but also makes the 50-cent coin one of the most detailed and symbolically rich denominations in Australian coinage. The historical background of the 1974 50-cent coin is equally interesting. During the early 1970s, Australia was adapting to decimal currency, which had only been introduced 8 years earlier. The nation was transitioning economically and culturally, and the Royal Australian Mint was refining production techniques for better coin durability and detail. Unlike 1966, when coins contained silver and were hoarded by the public, the 1974 copper-nickel issues were produced for general circulation without concern for melt value. That year, approximately 25.1 million 50-cent coins were minted, not considered a low mintage but still a moderate number compared to some other years. Because of this, most 1974 coins are found in circulated condition today, making uncirculated examples highly collectible. When it comes to value and collectability, condition is everything. A 1974 Australian 50-cent coin in circulated condition typically sells for $1 to $3 Australian dollars, depending on how worn it is. However, if your coin is in uncirculated or mint state, things change dramatically. A pristine, uncirculated 1974 50-cent coin can be worth anywhere from $10 to 25 Australian dollars, and sometimes more if it has been graded professionally by a service such as PCGS or NGC. Coins with perfect luster, no bag marks and sharp details of the coat of arms can command premium prices among collectors who aim to complete their 1970s sets. Proof versions or mint set examples, sealed in original packaging, are even more desirable and can reach $30 to 40 Australian dollars in top condition. Let's not forget the historical symbolism this coin carries. The coat of arms on the reverse reflects the spirit of unity between Australia's states and territories, a message that was especially important during the 1970s when national identity and independence were becoming more pronounced. The kangaroo and emu, chosen because neither can walk backward, represent progress and forward movement, a subtle but powerful metaphor for Australia's growing confidence on the world stage. Holding a 1974 50-cent coin is like holding a small piece of Australian heritage that continues to tell a story about the country's pride, growth, and resilience. Now let's talk about errors and varieties, which are always exciting for collectors. While the 1974 50-cent coin doesn't have any major recognized mint errors, some examples show minor die cracks, misaligned strikes, or doubled lettering. These types of minting flaws can significantly increase collector interest. For example, a 1974 50-cent coin showing doubling on the Australia or the coat of arms could fetch anywhere from $50 to 150 Australian dollars, depending on the visibility of the error and the overall condition of the coin. That's why every collector should take a close look under magnification. You never know when you might be holding a rare error piece. In terms of historical context, 1974 was a notable year in Australia's economic story. The country was experiencing changes in leadership and facing global inflation challenges. As the Royal Australian Mint continued producing coins like this one, they were improving minting standards and ensuring consistency across millions of coins. For collectors today, coins from this period represent a turning point where the mint achieved both durability and detailed craftsmanship, setting the standard for the high-quality Australian coinage that followed in the 1980s and beyond. Collectors often ask, is it worth keeping a 1974 50-cent coin? The answer is yes, especially if it's uncirculated. Even if the dollar value isn't sky-high right now, these coins represent stable long-term collectibles. Over time, as older coins disappear from circulation, the demand for clean, uncirculated examples increases. Many collectors build complete sets of 50-cent coins from 1969 to the present day, and the 1974 issue is an essential piece in that lineup. Think of it as a small investment in Australia's monetary history, one that could grow in value as fewer mint-quality examples survive. If you want to build your collection or learn more about coin grading, look for coins in Royal Australian Mint sets or visit coin shows and auctions. Always store your coins in protective holders to preserve their luster and avoid fingerprints. Keeping documentation or provenance also adds to your coin's value when reselling in the future. Even if you're not planning to sell, holding on to an uncirculated 1974 50-cent coin is like keeping a piece of living history, tangible, elegant, and representative of a significant era in Australia's development. And before we wrap up, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into Australian coin history. We cover everything from rare decimal coins to the most valuable pre-decimal treasures that could be hiding in your change jar right now. Drop a comment below if you found a 1974 50-cent coin or any rare Australian coin. I'd love to hear your stories next up. The 1970 50-cent coin carries significant historical context. It was minted during a time when Australia was still adapting to the decimal system, and the design was meant to symbolize stability and national unity. The coin weighs 15.55 grams, measures 31.5 millimeters in diameter, and is dodecagonal, meaning it has 12 flat sides, a shape that makes it easily recognizable even by touch. This distinctive design choice also prevented confusion with the round 20-cent coin. The introduction of the 12-sided 50-cent coin in 1969 set the design style for decades to come, and the 1970 issue continued that legacy strongly. Now let's talk about the design details. On the obverse or front side, you'll find the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an image that became iconic on Australian coins through the late 1960s and early 1970s. The inscription around her portrait reads, Elizabeth II Australia 1970. It's a clean, regal and timeless design that represents both the monarchy and Australia's connection to the Commonwealth. Turning to the reverse, the coin features the Australian coat of arms, designed by Stuart Devlin, who was one of the most respected coin designers of his era. The coat of arms features a kangaroo and emu supporting a shield that represents the 6 states of Australia, with the Commonwealth star positioned above. This design symbolizes strength, unity, and pride in Australia's federation. Devlin's intricate attention to detail makes the 50-cent coin one of the most beautifully crafted pieces in modern Australian coinage. When it comes to mintage, the 1970 Australian 50-cent coin had a circulation mintage of around 14 million coins, which makes it relatively common in circulated grades but increasingly scarce in higher uncirculated grades today. Over the decades, many of these coins have been heavily used, scratched, or worn down, so finding one in fine or very fine condition is still a good catch for casual collectors. For coin enthusiasts who appreciate historical transition pieces, the 1970 issue marks the early stability of Australia's decimal currency system. Now let's talk value. In fine condition, a 1970 Australian 50-cent coin typically trades for around $1.50 to $2.50 AUD depending on market trends and demand. Coins in very fine to extremely fine condition might fetch $3 to $5 Australian, while uncirculated or mint state examples can sell for $8 to $15 Australian, especially if they have strong luster and minimal contact marks. Although not a rare date, the 1970 issue remains desirable among those building complete decimal coin sets or historical collections. Collectors often look for errors and varieties which can greatly increase the coin's value. For example, any off-center strikes, die cracks, or double rim errors can boost the value to $20 or more, depending on rarity and visibility. While the 1970 50-cent coin does not have any officially recognized major varieties, keen-eyed collectors sometimes discover minting quirks that make their coins stand out. So always inspect your coins carefully under good lighting or magnification. From a historical perspective, the 1970 50-cent coin also symbolizes Australia's post-war growth and modernization. This was the era of social change, expanding global trade, and growing national confidence. The coin's durable copper-nickel composition was designed to last decades in circulation. And indeed, many 1970 coins are still found in pocket change today, more than 50 years later. That longevity adds to its sentimental and collectible value for Australians who grew up with it. If you're planning to showcase this coin in your collection, consider placing it in a 2x2 holder or an acrylic capsule to preserve its condition. Avoid cleaning it, as polishing can destroy its original surface and reduce its numismatic worth. Collectors prefer natural patina, even if it looks slightly dull, as it represents authenticity. To increase your knowledge, you can subscribe to Australian numismatic guides or online platforms such as the Australian Coin Collecting blog or Renix Coin Values catalog, which offer yearly updates on coin prices and background details. Finally, for those watching this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into Australian coin history and values. Whether you're just starting your coin collection or already a seasoned numismatist, the 1970 Australian 50-cent coin is a wonderful reminder of our country's currency evolution and design excellence. Every coin tells a story, and this one tells a chapter about change, craftsmanship, and heritage. Stay tuned for more videos about rare Australian coins worth big money, and keep an eye on your pocket change. You never know what treasures you might find next up. The very first 50-cent coin was released in 1966, the same year Australia switched from pounds, shillings, and pence to the decimal currency system. That original coin was made of 80% silver, and because of the high silver content, it was quickly withdrawn when silver prices rose above the coin's face value. In 1969, the Royal Australian Mint reintroduced the 50-cent coin in a new design, the familiar 12-sided dodecagonal shape made from copper and nickel, which is still used today. The 2004 issue continues that tradition, maintaining both the design heritage and symbolic value that Australians have recognized for over 5 decades. The design of the 2004 Australian 50-cent coin is one of the most recognizable in the country's numismatic history. On the obverse side, that's the hets, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This design first appeared on Australian coins in 1999 and remained in use until 2018. The initials IRB can be seen just below the neck of the Queen's effigy. On the reverse side, or the tails, is the Australian coat of arms, featuring a kangaroo and an emu standing beside a shield that displays the emblems of Australia's 6 states. Above the shield rests the 7-pointed Commonwealth star, representing unity among the states and territories. This design by Stuart Devlin has been featured since 1969 and remains a timeless symbol of Australia's national identity. In terms of specifications, the 2004 50-cent coin is made from a copper-nickel alloy, that's 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 15.55 grams, has a diameter of 31.51 millimeters, and its unique 12-sided shape makes it instantly recognizable both by sight and touch. These specifications have remained consistent since 1969, making the coin one of the most stable and iconic denominations in Australian coinage. Unlike other denominations, the 50-cent coin has a large surface area, which allows detailed engraving work, making it perfect for commemorative issues and collector's editions over the years. Now let's look at the mintage figures in circulation. The Royal Australian Mint produced over 25 million 50-cent coins in 2004, which means it's not a particularly rare year. Most of these coins entered regular circulation, and as a result, many of the coins you'll find today will show signs of wear and tear, scratches, fading, and dullness from years of use. Coins in good condition, light wear but all details visible, are common, while uncirculated or proof versions can be found in special mint sets or commemorative collections. However, even though the 2004 issue isn't rare by mintage alone, its collectible value depends heavily on its condition, strike quality, and any minting errors that might exist. Let's talk about what your 2004 Australian 50-cent coin might be worth. In good circulated condition, the coin is typically worth its face value of 50 cents. However, if it's in very fine or extremely fine condition, collectors may pay between $1 and $2 AUD. Uncirculated coins in pristine condition can fetch between $4 and $6 Australian dollars, and proof coins from mint sets could be valued even higher, depending on their packaging and preservation. Coins with rare minting errors, such as double strikes, off-center images or clipped planchets, could sell for anywhere between $20 to $100 Australian dollars or more, depending on rarity and demand. Always have unusual coins authenticated by a professional before selling. To understand its true collectible potential, we must look at how the 2004 coin fits into the broader story of Australian 50-cent pieces. Over the years, Australia has produced dozens of commemorative 50-cent coins, celebrating events like the Commonwealth Games, Federation, the Royal Wedding, and more. But 2004 was a standard circulation year, meaning the coin carries the classic coat of arms design rather than a special commemorative one. Still, these coins represent an important era in Australian coinage, the early 2000s, when the Rank Broadley portrait of the Queen became a staple across all denominations. For coin collectors, each year helps complete a historical timeline that captures Australia's evolving minting techniques and design choices. For collectors, preserving condition is everything. If you've got a 2004 50-cent coin and it's in good or fine condition, consider protecting it in a plastic sleeve or coin flip to prevent further wear. If you think your coin might be uncirculated, avoid touching the faces directly, hold it by the edges instead. Cleaning coins is strongly discouraged because it can permanently reduce their numismatic value. A coin that looks shiny but has been cleaned will often be worth less than a naturally aged coin with honest wear. Collectors and investors alike know that originality is key to maintaining value in the long term. The historical and sentimental value of coins like the 2004 50 cent goes far beyond money. These coins have been part of daily Australian life, from school lunches and petrol stations to vending machines and supermarket checkouts. Each coin carries a story, of the hands it's passed through, the decades it's survived, and the nation it represents. As Australia continues to evolve and technology pushes toward cashless payments, physical coins like this may one day become obsolete, making them even more precious as historical artifacts of a bygone era. And that wraps up our deep dive into the 2004 Australian 50 cent coin, a symbol of national pride, elegant design, and a small but fascinating piece of history. If you enjoyed learning about this coin's story and value, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future uploads about rare and valuable Australian coins. We post weekly videos exploring coin values, era varieties, minting secrets, and more. Drop a comment below telling us what year 50 cent coin you found recently. Who knows, your coin might be worth more than you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next treasure hunt for Australia's hidden coins worth real money.